Yow man! Welcome to the Frickcast. Today, we're ranking all 13 Dr. Squatch deodorants. We did this a few months back, but since then we've gotten 2 new thick sticks. Plus, my rankings have somewhat changed. Now, the Squatch Deos are one of their more popular non-soap products, and that's for good reason. They are effective and very potent, of course having the classic Squatch flavors as their scents. However, the scent doesn't always transfer perfectly from brick to stick, and some Deos tend to just not be as good as some others. So today, we'll once again go through each from worst to best. Let's start at 13 with the Cedar Citrus. This one has not changed. I still find it to be the worst of the deodorants. Just like its soap counterpart, it is very disappointing. Now, what's strange is the Cedar Citrus bar had no citrus scent, just cedarwood oil. However, the Deo is the opposite. All citrus, no cedar. And that might not sound bad until you smell that citrus scent. It's like a candy orange one. A lot of the Squatch Deos have a tendency to have a sweet candiness to them, and this is probably the worst offender. Keep in mind as well that they are very potent, almost like a cologne, so it's noticeable as well. I'm just not a fan of that unnatural orange candy smell. At 12 is the Summer Citrus. This is very much in the same vein as its cedar predecessor. However, instead of orange, it's now lemon. And that lemon scent is more of a lemon head scent. It's still very different than the bar, although I think it might be a slight improvement over the cedar, but not by much. At 11 is the Stick of the Dead. I really wish I liked this one more, but there's just something off with it. It is of course the Halloween Boy, the Deo counterpart of the Brick of the Dead. However, while the brick is among the best, the stick is not. It has 2 of the main issues that I find with Squatch Deos. One is that candiness with the scent, and 2 is texture issues. Many of the Deos don't go on that smoothly, but this may be the worst offender, as it feels like you're applying a glue stick. Still, that could be somewhat overlooked if the scent was that classic spooky one, like the Brick of the Dead. It does have a very similar scent, but it's overtaken by like this lime smell. While it's not horrible, it does make it rank pretty low. At 10 is the Bay Rum. We're past the bottom tier and are now entering the mid tier. These I think are much more solid. The Bay Rum is a powerful scented Deo, this time that classic Caribbean spiced scent, with notes of cloves, cinnamon, and bubblegum. Yeah, this one kind of has like a bubblegum scent to go along with the Bay Rum scent, but I don't think it ruins it. At 9 is the Alpine Sage. I actually prefer this flavor in stick form rather than brick form. It's a very intense lavender scent. It's kind of perfumey, but there's enough of an herbal or woodsy edge to make it not too feminine. I personally find the Alpine Sage scent to be a little too much. It kind of gives me a headache, but even so, I think it's an okay Deo. At 8 is the Coconut Castaway, the latest OG edition, and a very welcome and long-awaited one. I don't think it's quite as good as the Brick or the Hair Kit, but it is a decent Deo. It's mostly that pina colada scent, although not quite as refreshing as the bar, but it's still a nice tropical scent. At 7 is the Cool Fresh Aloe. I really like the Cool Fresh Aloe flavor in general, and I think the Deo is a worthy addition to it. It's a much more subtle scent than most of those on this list, which may be a good thing. It's just that nice, rainy spring morning scent, a sweet, earthy smell that is much less intense than some of the ones ranked lower. At 6 is the Pine Tar. I think we have another tier break here, as we enter into the realm of the nifty. The Pine Tar has risen a lot for me, as I think it has a very good scent, just that clean, manly pine smell. It's really the first scent today that I would call manly. And considering these are all quite powerful, you may be wanting more of that kind of smell. The Pine Tar is a good outdoorsy choice. It is darker than the rest, being more gray than white, but I've never really had any issues with that staining or anything. At 5 is the Fresh Falls, just a classic Deo. It's a much more sporty scent. While it can be described as a fresh waterfall scent, it's probably better described as more of a body wash, body spray smell, but actually being really good. It's another manly scent, very fresh and sporty. This is probably the most traditional deo on this list. At 4 is the Spartan Shield, the Halo Infinite collab, and the latest limited release. Like the Spartan Scrub counterpart, I find this boy underrated. It's very much like the bar in that it has that metallic weapon-forged scent, with notes of burnt metal, gunpowder, and sawdust. It actually works quite well, and while not the most pleasant scent, it's unique and the manliest on this list. At 3 is the Freedom Fresh. This is our final tier, the God tier. Now this is the opposite of the stick/brick of the dead, as I find the deo is much better than the bar in this case. It's of course the 4th of July limited, but pretty much throw out everything about the soap, including its weak scent, because here we have a pretty much entirely new one, and it's much better. It's a breezy, beachy cologne type of scent. Basically, if you've ever been in Hollister, you know what this smells like. I think it works pretty well here. At 2 is the Wood Barrel Bourbon. This might be the most popular deo, and it would be no surprise, as it is an amazing scent. Full spices and oakiness make this warm scent a very relaxing one. It's got somewhat of a cologne feel to it, but it's just a very warm autumn scent. It's the perfect choice for any gentleman. And at 1, it's still the Birchwood Breeze. This has always been my favorite deo, and it would take like a drunken pumpkin stick to potentially dethrone it. Much like the brick, I just love the scent. It's another breezy cologne type of scent, but it has heavy notes of vanilla and birch, so it's a very sweet smell, but also one with enough of a woodsiness to round out the scent. I personally find it the best overall deo. And there you have it, mains. How would you rank these thick sticks? Do you agree with my order? As always, Frick Nation, stay nifty.
Yeah, man!